There is one more useful option in the filters, extremely helpful for businesses having big data sets, like for example a few million of users. What I mean here is filtering through cached results. Let's assume you are a huge SaaS company and have a few millions of users in your user.com app. As your business is complex, you need to create a few key user segments, and each is based on a big number of filtering rules. You often access those segments in the people section to be up to date with different details. And this is the point when filtering through cached results comes in. We already know that you can display records from a given segment by clicking on the segment's name here, right above the main table. However, when you have a huge database and millions of users per segment, it may take really long for the user records to show up. Saying that, I mean for example 10 seconds, which doesn't seem to be tragic in the regular world. But in the world of data, things usually happen in a flash, while big databases and processing some complex queries may take longer time, like a few seconds. So using cache can save you a lot of time here. We don't cache queries in real time, but updates are done several times a day, and that is enough for business purposes. Rather than waiting long for a query to be done for a dataset of a few millions of records, you can ask the user.com to perform a query on cached results only by going to Filters and then down to Cached Results. Here you can select a segment of interest. If the same filtering query is used often, it is stored in the cache, and thanks to it, you can avoid long loadings and access data immediately. A short example of how cache works can be adding a new user to a segment. As you remember, segments are dynamic, which means that whenever there is a new user meeting the segment filtering criteria, it qualifies to the segment automatically. However, this doesn't happen in real time. So, for example, when I set a country for user John Doe to United States, this user already meets all criteria of US based with email segment. But after entering the user's profile, the segment is not there yet. Also, we see that the number of users in a segment, visible next to the segment's name up here, is lower by 1 than the actual number of users on the list meeting the segment criteria. What is the reason for that? Segments and its labels in user's profile are displayed on the basis of cached results. As this was a very small update, let's request quick recalculation. You see that after manual recalculation, the numbers are up to date now. And, in addition, the segment label has been added to the user profile of John Doe. And that was a quick description of filtering through cached results. Thanks for your time.